D, wait for it, delightful.
I got the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So, just finished The Mandalorian, episode 6 of season 3, and man, for the most part, this episode was not that great. I want to be honest with you. I mean, we got some celebrities in there, which I'll talk about, which they kind of let me down acting-wise, and just the main plot line of this was just crazy. Like, the end of the episode was the best part. The last, we'll say 3 minutes was the best part of this episode. The rest of it was not that great. I'm sorry. And I'm just I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with this season. I'm just completely I don't know. Somebody made a joke in Mr. Brown Alliance stream last week about how maybe it was this guy named Ruin Johnson on Twitter. He's hilarious, but he was saying that maybe Favreau was writing bad episodes because he knew if he wrote bad Mandalorian episodes, Kathleen Kennedy would give him a movie. And I was like, that's so funny because it's probably true. But this episode was very disappointing, so disappointing. Like this season, it hasn't been the best in terms of they'll say one thing during the beginning of the episode and then they won't follow what they said or it contradicts it. And even though Favreau, I believe, wrote all of the episodes, or at least co-wrote all the episodes this season, it just feels like when I'm watching an episode that somebody didn't watch the previous episode and they just wrote this one and they're just like, you just have to have this character in it. And I'm all like, wait, you said this, like, for instance, the one where that little boy gets captured by the big lizard bat thing, the pterodactyl. They were all like, it comes and gets us, and every time we run out of jet fuel. And I'm all like, then why don't you prepare yourself for this thing? It's a lot of nonsense, but we got to see more Mandalorians this episode, which I was happy about, because I do like the Mandalorians. Boba Fett he used to be my favorite. I don't know what's going on right now with Star Wars. Disney has really messed it up, but Boba Fett was always my favorite character growing up. And yeah. All right, I'm going to get into this episode, this nonsensical episode. I really feel like this was filler. I feel like the first 2 minutes and then the last 3 minutes were my favorite parts because they dealt with the Mandalorians hardcore. Let me get into this breakdown, you guys, and I'll talk about what I think about stuff. But it won't take too long because this episode is very basic, in my opinion. But let me get started. But before I do, you guys, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, you guys. Small channels like mine, we always get pushed to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get started on this breakdown. So it starts off on this ship right here, and this is, I can't remember what the name of the species is, but you'll see the squid faces. But they share a planet with the Mon Calamari. Now, I like this design of this ship. It reminded me of the Mon Calamari as soon as I saw it because of these little bubbles, but it also reminded me of the ship from Fifth Element, just off the top of my head. So we get in here, and it passes and then this person brings in a little cocktail, but it's actually just a little fish for the captain here. She eats the fish, and then they talk about how they're like, I found a way to bypass the trade routes to Trask. And then she's like, Sensor C, an Imperial ship, Captain Imperial. And then it's like, can we defeat it? And then he's like, no, it's too heavily fortified. And then she's like, hail their leader. And she's like, I didn't realize there was any warlords in the area. And he's like, we are not warlords. She's like, I didn't realize. She's like, sorry, basic is not my first language. She's like, I didn't realize there were any Imperial fleets. And he's like, we are not Imperial either. And she's like, not Imperial because they're the Mandalorians. And this is the ship that they stole, or they captured at the end of episode or season 2. When Luke shows up and everything. So Bo-Katan took this ship with her, and these Mandalorians just kept it when they left her. And they've been paid because she fell in love with a Mon Calamari kid, and they were paid to bring the Mon Calamari back. So he runs in, he's like, no, I won't go back. He's like, I love you. And she's all like, you have to go back. And because he's all like, we'll destroy your ship. We'll get you. We'll take the ship by force if we have to, basically. And she's basically like, no, you have to go back. I don't want them to kill us. But I love you. And he's so, yeah. So then Bo-Katan and them, they go to this planet. And I don't remember the name of it, but these domes, I thought these were Mandalorian domes because if you remember in Clone Wars, the Mandalorians had domed cities, which I liked. I thought it was very cool. This, however, is not Mandalorian cities, but you know, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's like a little paradise. So they go to land. That's her ship, the fleet. She's got some ships here, and then all these little Mandalorian ships, and then this big cruiser. And she's like, "That's we acquired it," you know. He's like, it will be helpful. That fleet will be helpful when taking Mandalore back. And I can't remember exactly. Like he was all like, you wanted to be the leader of Mandalore before, and she's like, that's not what I want now. And I think she just wants to get Mandalore back, you know, just to bring it back to the way it was, kind of thing. So then they fly in, but the ship gets taken over by their automatic systems and they land. And then they get taken in here and they're like, the leadership wants to talk to you. So they go to the leadership, they go through the city, and the city is very nice. I like the city. It looks nice. It's clean. It's pristine. I like, you know, clean stuff. You can't tell by my office. It's a little disheveled right now. I'm trying to organize. Anyways. So they get here and they go in and it's a dinner party. And who is it but Jack Black and Lizzo? Look at that. So they're sitting here. I just want to say right now, Jack Black does a very good job. I've always liked Jack Black. Lizzo should stick to singing because acting is not her call. I'll tell you that right now. And she's just a terrible actress, and they give her so many lines, and I'm all like, the whole time I felt like there were cue cards like off screen, and she was just reading them because she is a terrible actress. I don't know why they thought it would be good. I mean, I understand they want celebrity and everything, but she's just a terrible actress. And I understand I like Lizzo's music. That's about it on that. But she can't act. I'm sorry. She's not a Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga can act and sing. Lizzo, sorry, she can just sing. That's it. And make TikToks. So he used to be Imperial, and he came to this planet. She fell in love, and they've got a little bit of a problem with their droid situation. So they're like, you can see the other Mandalorians. We'll give you permission to see the other Mandalorians, but you have to deal with this problem for us. And so and then she's like, can I hold the baby? And the baby jumps. I want to play this because this is just terrible right here. Watch. Terrible. They got to stop having Baby Yoda jump. It looks awful. It's just terrible. I don't like it. It's bad. It's bad. Every single time they do it, it looks bad. It's just bad. So then they're like, okay, we need you to help with this situation. So they take them aside and they talk about their droid problem. Oh, look, Lizzo's dress has a back to it. We don't get to see her cellulite this time. Yay for us. So look at that. So they have droids from the Clone Wars, and they were reprogrammed. Sorry, I need a little libation, but they were reprogrammed to serve everybody on the planet, but they've been malfunctioning like hardcore. And so they want them because they can't come in and help. They can't have the Mandalorians come in and help, but they're constables and stuff. They can't have like blasters and stuff. So but these two can help because weaponry is a part of their culture. So they can come in and do their dirty work for them. So then we get Christopher Lloyd. I can't remember his name. And he shows them like this droid. It started with that droid messing up, then this droid, and then this droid crashed a car, and then this droid seemingly attacked these people and chopped them up from what it seems like. And so she's like, why don't you shut them all down? And he's like, shut them all down? That would ruin the city. These people are lazy. They rely on droids to do everything for them. So he's like, you got to go talk with the Uganauts or whatever they're called. So they get down here, and these little pig people. And he's all like, I used to serve with the guy from season 1. You remember him. I respect your people. I want to have a chat with you. I have spoken. So they sit down and they're like, there's a problem with your droids. And she's like, there's no problem with our droids. And he's all like, there's no problem with your droids. Your craftsmanship is great, but there seems to be some problems. And they lead them on the next path. Sorry, and he's like, you got to talk to these Uganats a certain way. I can't remember what they're called. So they go to the docks and they're sitting here chit chatting with this guy, and he's like, they have been reprogrammed, they're perfectly fine. And he starts kicking them and pushing them and stuff. He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, if they've been reprogrammed, this won't bother them. They'll keep doing what they're doing. Well, he does it to one and it reacts and it kicks him and then it starts running. So they start running after it. This part wasn't too bad. I liked this whole chase scene. And they get it. They end up catching it. Sorry, I'm not playing it for you, but I don't want to take out my video, so I'm just going through the video. So they shoot it and they take down the droid, but then they get a card from it, and it's a card to a bar called the Resistance. Now, I thought they would do what Solo did with that one robot that was all like, "Resist robots, come with me, brothers and sisters," and everything. But and it was voiced by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but that's not the case. So they head over to this droid bar. It's a droid bar. As soon as they walk in, all the droids like stop and they just stare. So they walk up to the counter and the droid's all like, what can I help you with? And she's all like, we had some droid problems. We don't know if any of these droids can help us out. And so he's like, we want to help because they, this planet, we have a second chance here. Most people would just send us to the chop shop. They would just destroy us. But this place gives us a second chance to help. So they're sitting down with him and they get this stuff. I think they called it Ninth or whatever. I don't remember what it's called, but they don't drink because they're droids. But this Ninth stuff, but it also gives them like updates or whatnot. Long story short, they all the droids that have been malfunctioning got the same Ninth. So they go to check out this droid, the one they just shot, and they pull the Ninth from it, and then they start checking stuff out, and they're like, "There's something wrong in this. There's something in there." And then this droid goes apeshit, and he chops it down, and then they zoom in, and there's nanobytes, there's little mini computers inside the Ninth, and long story short, it's writing, and they redo it, and it's code. And then they figure out that all the droids were gotten by Christopher Lloyd's character. I can't remember what his character is. So he's the bad guy. So they're like, we know you did this. You're coming with us. And he stands up and he's like, nobody move or I'll hit this button and it'll send all the droids to go ape shit. And he's all like, the Republic, the Empire, you now. He's all like, I can't remember what he says, but he was a separatist. He's like, oh, I believe in democracy. And I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on here? What are they trying to say here with this nonsense? So he's good. He's doing a monologue, and she ends up shooting him with a little taser thing, and he gets knocked out. So then he, simps for Lizzo for some odd reason. And which her outfit looks terrible, but whatever. What are you going to do? And she throws this little bug in here, and they cheat because baby Yoda helps her get a win because he's cheating. Look, he's cheating. He's using the Force to help her cheat because they're little cheaters. And she's like, what have you done? And he's all like, it's him. And he's like, ever since he showed up. And she's like, he is the love of my life. She's like, you served my family for years, and how could you disgrace us? And he's like, I hope I can earn your forgiveness. She's like, maybe you can, but it will take some time. You will be, sent to the moon of whatever, a palakatatat. She's like, thank you so much. You get the key to the city, our greatest honor. And she's like, thank you, my lady. And she's like, and you, little sir, have been knighted. And I'm all like, geez. And it's such bad acting by Lizzo here. Man, what a terrible actress. I wouldn't hire her for another job. I wouldn't want her in my show or movie or whatever. And then she's all like, bye. So then they're like, you've been granted an audience with the Mandalorians. We'll allow it. And I'm like, I wouldn't do it. I just go do it. I'd be like, F that noise. But they want some diplomacy. So they walk in here, and this guy, who is their leader now, I can't remember what he says to get the thing going, but she's all like, he's like, I'm the leader now, and I've come accustomed to it. So she's like, well, I challenge you. She's like, do you accept my challenge? He's like, I do. And then they start to fight. and she karate kicks him here. She jetpack kicks him here. They're fighting. The fighting is very good. The fighting choreography in this scene was very good. I enjoyed it. This girl's very pretty. She's a wrestler. Very pretty. I like her. I like her face, you know what I'm saying? And he's fighting and they're doing a good job. And long story short, she's like, here, she's like, you yield. And then he jetpacks her up here. And then she like swings around here and she lands on top of him and she's like, do you yield? And he's all like, he's like, something about when she, leader, she's like, too much Mandalorian's blood has been spilled by Mandalorians. And so she's all like, she's like, Mandalorians are stronger when they work together. And she's all like, and he's all like, he says something like, he's like, you don't have the blade and you can't lead without the blade or whatnot. And he's like, here, take a blade. And she's all like, the blade, the dark saber cannot be given no matter how good the intentions are. And so basically like, you have to take it. So he's like, no, he's like, listen, when I went back to Mandalore, I was attacked and I was captured and Bo-Katan killed the creature that that defeated me. And she defeated it with this blade or whatnot. Wouldn't that make her the rightful owner of this blade? And he's like, answer me. Well, he doesn't say answer me, but he's like, wouldn't that make her the rightful owner of this blade? And he's like, yeah. And so then he's like, this is rightfully yours. So she gives it back to him. And then she gets it. And then she pops the blade open. And then that's a good shot. That's the end of the episode. And besides the first part where the Mandalorians take over that ship, and the last part where she fights that dude, Fox something or whatnot, the episode wasn't that great, in my opinion. Like all the stuff with the droids and stuff like that, it wasn't that great. I was all like, okay, whatever. And I kind of thought it was a big waste of time. Like it was just a waste of an episode. Like that part felt like filler to me. And the rest of this actually, moved the story along. So I'm like, I don't know, man. This show, it's like, I want to really love this show. I don't dislike the show because there are things that I personally do like about this season. But for overall, there's just too many issues with the writing in terms of they can't keep their stuff together, right? And their story straight. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you. I just wanted to break this sucker down for you and give you my thoughts. But tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Are you like me and you thought it was kind of like except for the first 2 minutes and the last 3 minutes? Or did you love this episode? Tell me what you guys thought about it. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week on my Mandalorian breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Bye.